A timid kid who used to get bullied is now the head of a crime family. What's that even like? After Janine and her son Baz cut ties, the Cody family's reputation takes a nosedive. Even the neighbors, who put up with them for years, now have the guts to barge in. They warn Craig, who's throwing a loud party, to turn the music down, or they won't play nice. Craig, being Craig, can't stand the threat and tells them to get lost. Big mistake, he ends up getting the crap beaten out of him. Without Janine and Baz, the whole family's a mess. In the heat of the chaos, Joshua steps up to restore the Cody name, but he's still green. If he can't deliver, no one's gonna take him seriously. His first job as the new boss is getting a grip on the family's finances. The uncles might not care, but Joshua can't afford to slack. If the money coming in doesn't match what's going out, the FBI will lock them all up. And the family's expenses are through the roof. Besides bankrolling his uncle's reckless spending, there's Janine's legal fees, plus a million other things. They also have to pay protection money on time to the mob to keep Janine safe in prison. Problem is, Baz took off with most of the family's cash last season, and with everything going down lately, they haven't been able to pull any jobs. The Codys are bleeding money, spending way more than they're making. Joshua even dips into his own savings to keep things afloat, but it's a drop in the bucket. Out of options, he heads to the mob's turf, surrounded by huge, menacing guys with mean mugs. A young kid like Joshua can't help but feel nervous. He meets the mob boss handling Janine's protection, asking for a few days extension on the payment.
See, the problem is you must think I'm some kind of think I'm a no. Did you see your face?
The boss finally agrees to the extension, but Joshua's fuming inside. If Janine were here, that guy wouldn't dare talk down to him. That night, he takes out all his frustration on his girlfriend, but then, a bombshell. Joshua finds out Darren's been working with outsiders behind the family's back. Those fancy cars he's been dealing have made him a decent chunk of change. Joshua calls a family meeting, demanding Darren share the profits to help the family out. He also tells the uncles to cough up their personal stashes. The family's finances are on life support. If they don't have savings soon, the house will get foreclosed. They've been using real estate deals to throw off the cops, but if this keeps up, the Cody empire will crumble for good. Hearing this, the uncles finally start taking things seriously. But they're the type to spend every dime they make. Their combined savings barely amount to anything. That's when Joshua realizes just how tough Janine's had it.
And we need to pull a job.
Their next target is a shop under mob protection. Word is, the safe inside holds at least $100,000, but the place is crawling with security. Pulling this off won't be easy. Still, with Joshua calling the shots, the crew feels unstoppable. They split up to their assigned spots on the street. First up, Pope grabs his tools and heads to the target room, popping open the vent and crawling inside. After scoping the place with a camera and seeing it's clear, he signals Joshua outside to move in. Joshua pulls on a baseball cap and walks into the bank next door. As soon as he's in, Darren dials the cops from a burner phone.
Yeah, hi, I just saw somebody walk into a bank with his hoodie up. I think he has a gun.
With that done, Darren sets a mat on the steering wheel, puts in a mouthguard, and floors it, crashing into a car on the street. The cops spot the accident and rush over to check it out. Seizing the moment, Craig rolls up to the shop, hammering the front door shut. Pope drills the back door closed, leaving the two guys inside clueless and panicking. One of them tries to shoot the door open but ends up blasting his buddy's foot instead. Talk about not fearing a strong enemy, just a dumb teammate. They immediately call their boss for backup. The mob leader, hearing someone's messing with his turf, sends his goons to handle it. At the same time, a swarm of cops floods the street by the bank. When the mob crew shows up and sees the police everywhere, they don't dare make a move. That buys Pope's team extra time to pull off the job. Craig pulls up in a garbage truck, hooks a chain to the front door, and floors it, ripping the steel door right off. They load the safe onto the truck and drive off, cool as can be, right under the cops' noses. Talk about perfect timing. The police never even dream the real actions with the garbage truck, not the bank. This heist is a textbook win, netting them a whopping $200,000. Young and green as he is, Joshua's just earned everyone's respect with this one. It's a solid step towards cementing his place in the family. But Janine's a different story. She never negotiates or works with the team like Joshua does. Still, Joshua's ambitions don't stop here. He wants total control of the family, free from Janine's grip. Only you can keep me from getting beat up in here. And you're the only one who visits me. I'm in jail, and you're the only one who cares. If you don't come, I'll die in this place. Janine finally realizes that this seemingly harmless grandson is actually the most ruthless one in the family. Things have veered way off her plan. Joshua wastes no time rallying the crew for their next job. This time, they're targeting a cargo plane carrying $1 million in cash. Big reward, big risk. If they mess up, they're looking at life behind bars. But that doesn't stop them. Back home, they meticulously plan the perfect heist. First, Darren and Joshua will hide inside a large wooden crate prepped in advance, which a worker will load onto the plane. Pope and Craig will wait at the rendezvous point for backup. Everything's set, and the plane takes off. Inside, Joshua and Darren spring into action. Joshua cuts a hole in the crate with a knife, then uses a camera to scope out the surroundings. All clear, let's move. They bust out of the crate, gear up, and quickly take down the escort guards. These guys are just hired hands. No one's dying for cash that isn't theirs. That gets them straight to the cockpit. Joshua orders the pilot to keep flying. No landing, no funny business. Then he smashes the comms system to stop any calls to the cops. The pilot plays along, handing over his phone and wallet. "Nice to meet you, Nelson. You wouldn't want to cause trouble for your perfect little family, right?" Seeing the pilot's not about to fight back, the two head back to the cargo hold, stuff all the cash into duffel bags, and parachute out from over 30,000 feet. But they spent too long on the plane and end up jumping way off course from the rendezvous point. To make matters worse, there's no cell signal out here. Once the plane lands, the pilot's sure to call the cops. If that happens, they're done for. The consequences are too grim to think about. Luckily, the universe cuts them a break. After wandering, they stumble across a house. They play the lost card, asking to buy the woman's pickup truck to get out of there. She shocks them, demanding $10,000 just to let them go. "You know that truck's not even worth $5,000. $5's for the ride, the other $5's so I forget you were ever here. What's in the bags? You know we could just take your truck and go, right? You want me to kill you both in front of my kid?" Her words leave them stunned. A woman this fierce. It's a first for both of them. With no other choice, Joshua and Darren cave and make the deal. Finally, they link up with the rest of the crew. Back home, they rent a new warehouse to stash the cash from their heists, and this $1 million haul is the first big score to go in. You've got to hand it to Joshua. Under his lead, the Cody family's criminal empire is reaching new heights. Feeling on top of the world, they slip back into their old lavish lifestyle. But what they don't see coming is the storm brewing right after they leave the house that day.
Holy shit.
Having seen firsthand how they treated her while she was locked up, Janine comes back with one goal: to take back everything that's hers. The crew's faces drop like they've seen a ghost when they spot Janine out of prison. They put on fake smiles, pretending to welcome her back, but the one sweating bullets is Joshua. Just days ago, he said some brutal things to her face, and now karma's knocking. You're probably wondering, how the hell did she get out of jail? A few days earlier, a detective named Pierce showed up at the prison to see Janine. He made her an offer: hand over evidence of her son's crimes, and he'd work to get her sentence reduced. Otherwise, with her murder charge, she's looking at least 10 years. But a crime boss like Janine isn't fazed by threats, especially not from a cop trying to take down the whole Cody clan. She fires back. "Pierce, you've got some nerve. Your witness evidence is worthless. If you had real proof, you wouldn't be here begging me." Pierce shoots back. "Want to bet on that?" Janine sees right through his bluff. She insists her sons run legit businesses and her grandson Joshua's just a kid, with nothing to work with. The detective has no choice but to leave her with a parting shot. "See you in court tomorrow." The next day, a guard leads her down the hall and hands her a set of clothes. She figures it's her court outfit, but after she signs some papers, the guard says, "Congratulations, you're free to go." She can't believe her ears. Turns out Detective Pierce never found solid evidence against her, so he tried to bluff her with this stunt. Janine sits there, stunned, unable to speak. In the end, with no proof to hold her, she's set free. When she gets back, the family throws her a welcome home party. On the surface, the Cody clan looks all warm and fuzzy, but the very next day, Janine meets with her lawyer and revokes Joshua's inheritance rights. Given how he treated her before, she's done with him. All the assets go back under her control. Then Janine calls a family meeting. She says she's willing to let slide the money they made from their recent jobs, but on one condition: they have to track down the fortune Baz stole. Joshua claims they don't know who took the cash after Baz was killed, but Janine's convinced the one who knows is Catherine, the woman who vanished after Baz's death. For years, the Codys have been the ones robbing others, but now someone's dared to rob them. It's a slap in the face to their reputation. To make sure nothing goes wrong, Janine hires 2 hitmen, then tracks down the mobster who took out Baz, handing him a stack of cash.
"I need you to take a little trip down to Mexico for me. Can you do that?"
Got my attention.
Let's see what happens when Janine gets pissed. This guy had the guts to steal from her, but he's still playing tough, refusing to talk even on his deathbed. Today, she's using him to sharpen her blade, a warning to anyone in the family plotting against her. The guy's strapped to the table, pants off. Janine grabs a jar of fruit jam, smears it on him, and releases a few rats right onto his sensitive spot. The second the cage opens, the room fills with his blood-curdling screams. Turns out, while Janine was in prison, this guy and his sister took advantage and swiped a huge chunk of the family's money, plunging their finances into a serious crisis. They thought they'd gotten away clean, but now he's being tortured for a full day and night. Still, he clamps his mouth shut, not saying a word. Killing him would be easy, but then her money's gone for good. Left with no choice, Janine calls his sister, Catherine. "I've got a little gift for you." "What are you talking about?" "Gold, jewels, gems, checks, cash." Realizing the jig is up and her brother's in their hands, Catherine agrees to meet at the spot. Janine then rallies the whole family to plan the next move. She orders Joshua to go alone to grab Catherine, no bulletproof vest, or she'll call the cops. It sounds reasonable enough, but Joshua can't shake the feeling Janine's setting him up. Everything goes off without a hitch. Joshua quickly brings Catherine to the warehouse. They pop the trunk inside as the family's stolen fortune. Janine steps up to check, confirming nothing's missing, then orders Craig to hand over the guy. The deal wraps up fast, but the man, unable to handle being turned into a eunuch, snaps. In a split second, a fierce gunfight erupts, with both sides taking hits. Craig, dual-wielding pistols, keeps firing. On Catherine's side, seeing her brother badly wounded, she orders her crew to pull back, finally ending the battle. But when the dust settles, they realize Pope's gone. Everyone freezes in shock. In the enemy's hands, Pope's chances don't look good. Soon after, Janine gets a call from Catherine. Pope's with her now, and her brother took a bullet and died. She threatens Janine to pay up, or they can start planning Pope's funeral. But Catherine seriously underestimated the Codys. This isn't Mexico. Knowing she hasn't left their turf, Janine pretends to set up a meeting, then uses her intel network to rescue Pope safely. The price for messing with her people, a one-way ticket to the grave. Janine contacts the most powerful mob crew in the area, sparing no expense to hire hitmen to take them out. On the other side, Catherine, fresh off getting Janine's money, is basking in her victory. But the second she gets in the car, in no time, Catherine's entire family is dead. That's what you get for crossing Janine. Her sons clearly inherited her violent streak. Recently, a new gang's been stirring up trouble on their turf. The Cody brothers decide to step in and teach them a lesson. This is their territory, no one gets to run wild here. They head to the target spot, scale the wall, and sneak into the villa. Hearing a knock, one of the guys inside opens the door. The second it swings open, he takes a punch to the face, then gets kicked to the ground. In a flash, the Cody brothers take control, tying up the thugs. Darren's pretty pleased with the haul this time, leaving them with a parting line. "Get back to where you came from." Compared to his uncle's brute force, Joshua's not as strong in that department, but he's a master strategist. While Janine was in prison, he shamelessly siphoned off assets, even quietly snagging 3 of her properties. It's clear Joshua's been planning his exit strategy all along. Joshua's been buying up businesses left and right, both to secure his future and to launder dirty money. The big challenge now is figuring out how to pull it off without leaving a trail. When it comes to real estate paperwork, he's still a rookie. So, he secretly meets with Janine's lawyer, saying he wants to set up a few shell companies and needs her to handle some documents to hide the money's origins.
I get paid for that, you know.
I can pay you.
I'm gonna have to report this back to Smurf.
No, you won't.
Why not?
Because you're smarter than that.
But Joshua sees right through the lawyer's loyalty to Janine. Sure enough, the woman goes straight to Janine and spills everything. "He came to me asking about buying real estate, said he wants to set up shell companies, and told me to keep it from you. Looks like someone's got a death wish." Joshua's been keeping tabs on her. She took his money and still betrayed him. That's a one-way ticket to hell. After Janine leaves, Joshua ties the lawyer up, drags her onto a boat, and takes her out to sea. No matter how much she begs, he's not about to forgive someone who stabbed him in the back. He kills a fish, tosses it into the water, then stabs the lawyer in the leg before shoving her overboard. She freaks out. There in the middle of the ocean, one splash, and she's shark bait. Joshua ignores her pleas, coldly steering the boat away. Since joining the Cody family, Joshua's come a long way. He even came close to taking over as leader, but because the lawyer spilled his secrets, and with how he treated Janine while she was in prison, he's now a thorn in her side. Life in the family's about to get rough for him. That night, he slips into Janine's room, whispering in her ear with a warm, chilling tone. I'm going to take everything from you. Everything you care about. Everything you value. And everything you love. That's a wrap for Season 3 of Animal Kingdom. Want us to drop Season 4 soon? If you do, make sure to hit that like button and comment below to show your support. Thanks for watching, folks. See you next time.
$3 grand?
98.